How did he look, alayhi salatu wassalam? The most remarkable description we have of him has come to us by virtue of a woman, Ba'bad. And this happened when the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam was migrating from Mecca to Medina. He had nobody with him, by the way, with the exception to Abu Bakr as-Siddiq and a non-Muslim, his guide. They needed provisions. They came across a tent in the middle of the desert. An old lady called Ba'bad who would help the wayfarers. They said to her, Ba'bad, are you able to assist us? She said, by Allah, I have nothing to offer you on this day. And so a sheep caught the attention of our beloved sallallahu alaihi wasallam at the back of the tent. He said, what about the sheep that I see at the back of the tent? She said, this is a very weak sheep. It has no milk, it dried up years ago. She said, go ahead. So he went inside and this woman is observing. He knelt down next to the sheep and he began to make dua to Allah Jalla Jalaluhu. And then all of a sudden the udder began to grow, filling with milk, subhanallah. And the first person who drank was the woman. And then he gave his companions to drink. And he left a lot of milk for the house. And then he was the last person to drink, alayhi salatu wasalam. She realized who was in front of her. She took her shahada and they continued their journey to Medina. Later on in the day, her husband Abu Ma'bad comes back home and he sees this milk all over the place. Subhanallah, this goodness, this khair, this milk, where did it come from? A very blessed man passed by today. He said, give me his description, O Ma'bad. Listen to her words. I saw a man of a glowing appearance, radiant in his face, perfect in his proportions. He was not ruined by a big belly, nor did he have an overly small head. Rather, he was a very handsome man. His eyes were intensely dark, and his eyelashes were intensely long, and his voice was very husky, and there was length to his neck. His beard was full, finely arched eyebrows. When he was silent, he was so dignified, but when he spoke, he was overcome with grandeur and splendor. He was the most handsome and beautiful of men from a distance, but the sweetest and most gentle from up close. And his speech was so nice. It was so clear. You didn't think that his speech was too long, nor was it too short. A man of perfect proportions. You did not think that he was too tall, nor did you think him too short. It was like looking at three splendid branches, but he was the most beautiful and radiant of those branches. And then she concludes by saying he had companions who were surrounding him. If he instructed something, they rushed to fulfill it. When he spoke, they paid attention to every one of his words. He was well served and well attended, although I never saw him frowning once, nor did he miss out anybody in the gathering. Allah.